as we're talking here, Tom? Any guess at all who it's going to be, and what does ail Jimmy Garoppolo, Tom?
Josh McDaniels said before practice today that they would not make a final decision until after practice. If I am reading the tea leaves right now, Rich, from everything that I have been told so far, I would guess, educated guess, but still a guess, that it's Brian Hoyer getting the start this week, which would mean Aiden O'Connell, the rookie, would end up being the backup here. It's a tough deal because O'Connell, you remember, got his last start. It was, short notice, and he's put out there, thrown into the fire. He actually made some plays in that game. Also turned it over a couple of times. With Brian Hoyer last week, he played okay in relief. You can go back through. I mean, Brian Hoyer, he's a great guy. He's been around a long time. Has not had to start and win very many football games in like the last 7-8 years here. Mm-hmm. But maybe that allows the Raiders to feel like they've got a little bit more control over the situation. We all know Josh McDaniels comes from the Bill Belichick tree. You don't want to give away the football. Aiden O'Connell did that a couple of times his last time out. With regard to Jimmy Garoppolo, what I can tell you is in part what Josh McDaniels said, which is that they feel like they've ruled out the most significant. They've dodged a major bullet, as Josh put it, in terms of internal injuries. But it's a substantial enough injury that by Thursday they had already ruled out Garoppolo for this week's game. I can tell you Jimmy has been in the building this week. He's out of the hospital. We'll see exactly when he might be able to get back onto the field right now. For a Raiders team that's won, their past 2 games, it's find a way and let some of those other superstars they've got on the roster go to work.
Tom Pelissero here in his usual Friday spot on the Rich Eisen Show, my colleague from the NFL Media Group. What is your best guess on what's going to happen Monday night with McCaffrey and Debo, Trent Williams, Niners and Vikings? What do you got for me there, Tom?
So with Christian McCaffrey, they ruled out any type of rib or rib cartilage issue, according to Kyle Shanahan, which is good news. He's dealing with what the team is calling an oblique issue at this point. I've talked to people who know McCaffrey really well and say, unless there's an injury and the doctors say you cannot play, he is going to play. In other words, this is not going to be, I don't quite feel 100%. He knows he's got a chance to do something special this year. He knows that there's MVP conversation, and it's not all about individual goals either. It's also about getting this 49ers team back on track. So we'll see. It's really going to be a matter of how does he feel here in the coming days. It sounds like with Debo and Trent Williams, they're kind of in the same boat. With Trent Williams, he's played through everything. He's got an ankle sprain right now. It's not a high ankle sprain, and he's played through those before. So I'd be surprised at this point if Trent Williams doesn't go. With Debo, you just want to make sure with his physical playing style, is he able to, protect himself? Is there any risk of aggravating it? None of those guys you mentioned practiced yesterday, and neither did Dre Greenlaw. So there are some things we're going to be monitoring leading up to Monday night.
What's the deal with Deshaun Watson, Tom? What's going on there?
I think, Rich, the Deshaun Watson conversation got skewed a little bit by how that first week played out. What we know right now, let's start there, is Deshaun Watson has played the past 2 days, or practiced the past 2 days, didn't practice on Wednesday. So at that point, you're going, it's going to be another week, but he was out there limited basis on Thursday. Kevin Stefanski said he did everything on Friday. Now they got to see how that throwing shoulder responds to all that activity and make a final determination. If you go all the way back to that first game he missed, which I believe was in week 4, Deshaun thought, everyone there, the coaches, the front office, everyone thought Deshaun Watson was playing. He showed up on Sunday morning. He could not throw the ball more than 10 yards, could not drive the football the way that he needed to go play in a football game. And so the decision was made to hold him out. I know that a lot was made of the Kevin Stefanski response when he was asked whether or not Deshaun Watson was medically cleared. And he says, yes, he was medically cleared, but, he made the decision that he was not able to go. And a lot of people took that as, well, Deshaun pulled himself off. Why didn't he gut it out for the team? In my mind, and again, educated guess territory here, Rich, I believe that Kevin Stefanski was surprised that anybody would ask if a player who's going through a pregame workout on Sunday has been medically cleared. In other words, if a player is not medically cleared, you don't work them out 2 hours before kickoff. You rule them out. They're not going to play in the game. So in Stefanski's mind, he's thinking, why would you even ask? Like, of course he's medically cleared. Like the doctors say he could play, but he's got to be functional. He wasn't functional. And then the other piece of it was reported as a shoulder bruise, which, I've said this before, but I think people think of that terminology, that injury as, well, you got up in the dark and you walked into a door frame and you got a little little bruise on your shoulder. No, it's a rotator cuff issue. He referred to it as a micro strain, a strain, or micro tear. I refer to it as a rotator cuff contusion. It's all more or less the same thing. And functionally, when you have that type of injury on your rotator cuff, it makes it hard. You lose strength. You have some weakness in there. You have discomfort in there. Those are all symptoms that Deshaun Watson was feeling. We've seen some videos of him throwing just in individual drills. In that setting, it looks like he's doing okay. The real test is going to be, can he drive the football? Can he make the throws downfield? Is he in as little pain as possible at this point? And can he function normally? If he's not, then they're going to go with P.J. Walker for another week.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.